What is going on, guys? Chris the Marvel Buff Nerd here with my latest movie review. This is for Wrath of Man, the latest team up for Jason Statham and Guy Ritchie, with also kind of a stacked cast. You've got Jeffrey Donovan, Holt McCallany, not sure exactly how to say his last name. You'll recognize him from like Mindhunter. Josh Hartnett is in this movie, which it's cool to see obscure actors come back into movies that used to be big in the like early 2000s. Josh Hartnett was everywhere, and then he just kind of like disappeared off the face of the earth. Then he shows up in this movie, and he's the comic relief, and I actually enjoyed his presence. And the dude looks good. You've got Laz Alonso, who's Mother's Milk from The Boys, if you watch that series on Amazon Prime. Scott Eastwood, I think that's the last one I can think of right off the top of my head. Anyway, a really good cast in this, and this movie, it feels very Guy Ritchie-ish because it plays with the timeline a little bit, which he's very good at. The thing I really enjoy about a Guy Ritchie film is the way that he reveals things to you at just the right time as the audience member watching the story unfold to keep you engaged just on the edge of your seat. Like, you see the same thing happen two or three different times from completely different points of perspective. Like the first few minutes of this movie are a complete bottle film where it takes place inside an armored truck with a fixed camera. I mean, you're hardly looking at, you have a narrow view and things are going awry and shit's hitting the fan outside. So you're left like, oh my goodness, did what, who was where, what happened, like, where's this going to unfold? And then we pick right up with Jason Statham getting hired onto this armored truck company, and he's pulling his skills just to pass, like, barely at the 70% mark across the board. He's like throwing bullets in his handgun test. He backed up too far. He's like hitting the boxes in the armored truck test. Um, so it's funny. He like just suspiciously passes the test just barely. And then he goes on his first run with Holt McCallany, Bullet, in this movie. Everybody has a nickname. You've got H, Jason Statham. You've got Holt is Bullet. What was Josh Hartnett's name? Boy Sweat Dave or something like that. Everybody's got a weird, funny nickname in this movie. I like that. And there's a lot of cool, quippy, witty language. Not too much. There's not a lot of humor in this. And some Guy Ritchie fans they may come into this movie expecting more humor than there is. If you want that, just go watch The Gentleman from a couple years back. Another amazing Guy Ritchie film that I've watched at least 5 or 6 times, if not more. And it has all the cool Guy Ritchie tropes you want with a stacked cast of actors. Everybody looks great. The clothes look great. It's shot very crisp and edited great. It also has a lot more humor in it. This movie is very grim. Especially once the story unfolds and you see the motivations behind Jason Statham and whatnot. It's a movie with nobody leaves this movie a hero or anything, even though you do have the protagonist being Jason Statham's character in this movie, H. Everybody kind of gets what they had coming to him at the end, but there's no like big cheery moments or anything like that in my opinion. But anyway, the movie's great. It picks up with Jason Statham has a heist happens on his first run with Holt, and he unleashes some amazing one-handed gun skills, which that's one thing in movies nowadays. It's harder and harder to believe when people don't have like a really tactical, like, real world skills. Like, in a real world scenario, I don't know anybody that shoots one-handed that precisely. So it's weird in a movie that in 2020 comes out in 2021 with movies out there like John Wick and Nobody, and where an Extraction, where the stunt work and the gunplay is just so amazing. It's weird to see a movie that takes itself so seriously not take the gunplay a little bit more realistically. I mean, there could be a guy out there that's that amazing with a gun one-handedly. I'm not trying to get hung up on it too long, but he takes all these guys out. This is where we get a little Post Malone cameo, which if you've seen the trailer, you've probably seen Posty in there anyway. But he freaks all these guys out. They're like, wow, who's this dude we just hired onto the armored truck company? Like, what is he doing here? He's crazy. He's a psychopath. And then you see partway through the movie, all of a sudden we switch to the perspective of the antagonists. This group of ex-military guys that are bored. They feel like they're not getting enough from life now, and they start robbing armored trucks and taking home some hauls and wanting some more. And then they want the big score, which of course, leads to a huge third act shootout, which is very good. This isn't an action movie like from start to finish through and through. There's a lot more dialogue and setting things up than you might think. But I like that. I enjoy a good heist movie anyway. It's heist action is one of my favorite genres that I can just go back to time and time again. So I'm gonna go back to this for sure. But this movie it reveals things just at the right time and brings you behind the curtain just when you need to be, just to stay engaged. It never overstays its welcome, in my opinion. The dialogue is great. It's witty when it needs to be. There's some quick little funny moments where you get a really good chuckle to yourself if you want. Guy Ritchie knows what he's doing. Like I said, it looks crisp. It looks clean. Just his films have a way of just presenting themselves in such a very sophisticated manner, and I like that. I love that. It caters to me as the audience member and keeps me engaged exactly where I need to be. And you get the big badass action sequences. You get Jason Statham unloading on the bad guys with a G36, which is one of my favorite rifles out there. It's an awesome time. If you like action movies, if you're a Jason Statham fan, I can't recommend this one highly enough. I'm going to go back and watch it this week at the B&B. So guys, check this one out. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments section down below. Are you a Statham fan? Are you a Guy Ritchie fan? And did you enjoy this as much as me? So have a good one.